Today I will be reviewing briefly these 4 books here. I'm gonna try to do it that way, so it's like periodically, so it's several books at a time that might fit into one certain category. So you can see how it ties in case you're interested in that particular subject. These would be astrology as well as Akashic records specifically. They're very, actually these are pretty well known, so more recommendation rather than a review. I just can't really, qualify myself as a reviewer, even though I love books, I eat them up. But what I will do is, well, first I'm going to show you the titles. First one, Astrology for the Soul. That's like a must-have if you're going to study astrology, I would say. So there you go, by Jan Spiller. And then next one that I absolutely love, also by her, is Cosmic Love. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit more about each. And then afterward, here's one. She's got a whole bunch, but this was my favorite, like overall. I think if you had to start with one, it's Akashic Records, and specifically a radical approach to the Akashic Records. That's the full title. Master Your Life and Raise Your Vibration by Melissa Fake. Fake. Okay, but F-E-I-C-K, not fake. Anyway, so this one, because she's got a whole bunch. So, okay, and then the last one is a little bit kind of off, it would seem, but I feel it's related because a lot of these have to do with soul connections, you know, or, I mean, astrology. It's like, well, you do it, you can't talk. You study it mostly to understand yourself, explain things, the meaning of life, your life, understand why things are the way they are, and learn better how to cope or deal with situations and people, and thus come relationships. And so this last one, I feel like would be a good place. Otherwise, it's like a random, and I don't want to review it by itself because I don't feel it's, okay, I don't want to insult it. I just didn't want to do a video just for this particular book. But in combination with the others, I think it's worthwhile. Anyway, nothing against. It's actually really, I really enjoyed it. I'm still finishing it. It's like I read a little bit here and there. I have like 1,000 books, but I'm almost done actually. And I marked a few pages, but I don't know if my favorite one is, but I remember regardless, I do want to mention, so because I think what I'm going to do is read just highlighted, certain, so like straight from the book. I think that's much better than my own personal review. I'm nobody to be reviewing as much as I love reading books. I'm still learning so much about all these subjects, and I think it's way better just to give you an idea, a good feel, like read from the book itself. Some of the, what I think are top paragraphs, whatever that, express a key point. Anyway, so yeah, this last one, the title is An Uncommon Bond, and this one, oh my god, I've been wanting to get a hold of it for ages, and I finally did, and then it took me forever to start reading it because I had a whole other, list of books of priority. But oh man, so finally I started, and it's funny. So I'll start with this one, even though it's the last one, because I already have it. Jeff Brown. It called to me, like, I'm not, like, as much as I'm a hardcore romantic at heart, and it's all love for me, I don't normally read, I would say, books. Like, there's other subjects, other than, of course, astrology itself and knowing, understanding compatibilities. That's, fascinating. But anyway, this one doesn't include astrology at all, but it does talk about deep soul ties, and it talks about it in the perspective of a human being, like, with no reference to astrology or anything of the sort, like, but for some reason I like it because And definitely you have to get a few pages in, because at first I was actually annoyed with the author. I'm like, God, he sounds so cocky, like arrogant, but you know what? It's raw and it's honest, and that's what I really like. And I didn't know anything. It's just what I remember when I first saw it pop up on a feed years ago. Like, I was like, I have to read that. And yeah, it's cool because you see it from the perspective of a certain masculine figure. So it's very raw and authentic, and it just talks about his journey to opening his heart to love, basically, I would say, because he was very closed off at the beginning. And then just, just his journey. So it's interesting, and it's really fun. I enjoyed mostly the funny, like the terms I remember, like I highlighted a few, but this might be a little crude, but it's really funny. Like one of my, like he plays with words. Oh, like, okay, these are my two favorite ones. One where he does reference chakras, so there is some reference to technical terms where you could, learn and connect, dots. Like, okay, for example, the one, I'll mention two of them. One of them is like, it's like one of the titles of either the chapter or, part, certain section. Anyway, referencing the root chakra, like, our base chakra, he calls it a root awakening. I don't know, I thought that was hilarious, but that's just one example of many, which, and they're great, and that kept me like really hooked, I guess, because I just kept smiling throughout it because he kept playing with words like that, and I like it because it's very also so correct, and his, as a means to explain really the feeling of what he's trying to express, right? And whatever part of his journey he was. Anyway, so that was one. And the other one, for example, this was miles of it. Like, I'm going to be using this. Like, I want to have many of these. Okay, so so this is the one that's kind of like, could be crude, but no, because it's heart, like the heart. He says something, a heart on. So I just, like, I had something like, I had a massive heart on. So I thought that was hilarious. I don't know, I just thought that was really funny. I should probably read something from the book. It sounds, oh man. It's fully highlighted. Oh man, I hope I choose a good one, because I do not plan on making this video like extremely long. Oh man, no, it's just too much. I was planning to do that, read some highlighted. Maybe when I have more time in the future, I might do individual videos on each book, but that's why I highlight. That was like the point of highlighting, but it's just becoming too long, and I went on too long about those phrases that I thought were really funny. But just to reference back the point, it's like in a way, like his heart was just like, it was like an orgasmic opening, but of his heart, and it's like that. I want to have many of those because they're beautiful, where you feel so much love. Anyway, but something that he, very basic, like, but I would say my favorite so far part is where he discovers, because he meets the love of his life, and just as much joy and ecstasy as they both experience, where they cannot believe and they're like overwhelmed with emotion, there have an equal amount of fear and dread. And I believe it was the woman in where was it? Yeah, had to be her. She was she understood. She was, more, I would say, comfortable with love in that journey a little further, I guess, because she'd been walking, I guess, a little longer. And she said, just as much as there is, God, I wish I could, but I didn't mark it. And, as much as there is joy and love, and to the equal extent as there is that amazing feeling, there's going to be an equal amount of shadows. So the greater the love, the greater the shadow, the greater the fear, the greater it's just, and the demons that come out that you have to, confront if you want to, have that love and not destroy it. You have to be brave. to face it. So I really liked it. Anyway, that's that. Already 10 minutes. Okay. Let's go on if we're gonna do that in the order of, like, say the next one is Cosmic Love. So basically, I mean, yeah, not much to say other than it is astrology, but with a focus on, you know, how we have, how astrology can explain soul ties, because it's all in our chart. You could see close connections. For example, I'll say here, I swear by this, and it's, you know, scientific, if you want to call it that, and, you know, astrology speak or whatever, that somebody's moon to your sun, or your moon to their sun combination, like when it's an equal sign, that's like a very, very deep soul bond. Could be friendship, love. Usually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it makes for romantic, just because it's so deep and intense. For example, if I'm an Aquarius sun and you have an Aquarius moon, deep bond. There's thousands of other reasons and combinations, you know, in astrology, and of course that's not all there is to soul bonds, but yeah, for example, so I'm pretty sure this one touches upon it. It's been a little while since I read it, but I love that it speaks a lot on, also, my favorite is how it goes into the north and south nodes in a way that I haven't found in other books. And it explains it really well. Like, that's where you could find actually, like, a big amount of issues come up, like the shadow and the hidden, our, you know, our past, you know, our south node being our past lives. And anyway, so I like that she gets into that. So anyway, it's really great in terms of compatibility and how do you say this, synastry, you know, between two people. Okay, so next would be, I guess, astrology for the soul. And this is just like the basic, it's like the astrology 101, I would say, like, or just to be, it's one of, you know, like the basic books. You just have to have it if you're going to study astrology. So that's all I'm going to say. Okay, and next or last, Akashic Records. Again, just a general knowledge. And yeah, I've highlighted in with intentions to speak more on it, but because I want to include them all in one video. I guess I'll be doing that individually, like I will, you know, as time permits. That's why I wanted just to do this one already, so that I can just, you know, get the recommendations out there as soon as possible, because who knows with all the other videos that I want to do by when I will actually do one individually, you know, with the highlights and everything. So that's why I wanted to do this one now. Okay, I guess that's it. Pretty long. Hope you got something out of it, and yeah, enjoy, and send your recommendations too for this topic and others, because I love books. Okay, so happy reading.